We bring you exciting interviews from today's top entrepreneurs and leaders fueling your growth in life and business. And now your host and fellow believer in business, Adrian Boycell.
Oh yeah. Hey everybody, welcome back. You're listening to the Project Grow radio show. I'm your host, Adrian Boycell. Just really excited to be here this morning with you. We have a brand new showtime. And yes, we are live here in studio with you guys. We have an exciting show planned. I have the biggest guest that we've had on the show so far. We've had some really amazing people, just amazing human beings. But today is extra special for me because I feel like this is God's reward and blessing for taking a leap of faith and moving this show to a new time and just continuing to grow, as the show is called Project Grow. So this is a big growth project for me. It's a passion project, something that my heart is fully in. And it's been an amazing ride so far, and I just am really grateful and excited to be here with you guys. So if you're just now tuning into the Project Grow radio show for the first time because of the new time, thank you guys for listening. I'm just really grateful for your listenership, and I have a show that's really exciting because of Jeff Hoffman. And so Jeff Hoffman's going to be here on the show with us today and chatting with us about technology and what he does in his business. And the show's topic is going to be about Generation Z. So it's the youngest generation that reflects millennials. So they say that Generation Z is a lot like the millennial generation, but on steroids. So we're going to talk a little bit about them, how they're going to impact the world, what millennials can do to really support them, and just really get deep into it, and then get to our interview just after our first break here with Jeff Hoffman. So I met Jeff at the conference that I went to back in December that I told you guys about. It was an amazing conference. It was a James Malinchak event where I learned just an incredible amount of knowledge from all these different people that were there, Jack Canfield and Kevin Harrington. But my favorite speaker and the number one person that I wanted to have the opportunity to work with and talk to in the future was Jeff. He's just an amazing speaker. He caught me by surprise, to be honest with you. I was thinking, oh man, Kevin Harrington or Russell Brunson, because I'm a big internet marketing guy, was going to be the one that knocked my socks off. But the reality was it was Jeff Hoffman. So he took me by surprise, and ever since then I've just been really infatuated with everything that he's done in his business career and learning from all of the success that he's made. And so I'm just really excited about that. So let's get a little bit more into it. So as far as Generation Z goes, I was doing a little bit of research as well as what I already know about it, and technology is really innovating so fast that I don't think we're going to even really be able to imagine what life is going to be like in another 5 to 10 years. It's moving so quickly, and Jeff was a big part of me realizing that. He is so deeply ingrained in the technology space and knows so much about the companies that are in the space that are innovating and creating new things like augmented reality and virtual reality. And I actually did an episode, I think it was about 2 months ago now, about AR and VR that was inspired by Jeff and his speech there. So we talked a lot about that. But Generation Z, I feel like, is going to be an up-and-coming generation that is even better than the millennials because they're challenging the status quo. They're the first generation that I've seen that is taking it to a whole nother level in trying to solve the problems that we have in our society and not just be a temporary solution like volunteering. Volunteering is just a temporary solution to the problem. These young people who are anywhere between 7 and 22 years old who are actually coming out of college now, the latter of them are coming out of college and moving into the job field, and they're actually trying to get into nonprofits, and they're doing a lot of different things that aren't money driven. So I'm really inspired by that, and that's something that I want to help nurture and support. And I have some statistics here that I did some research on and by Business Insider. So one of the things it says is 71% see their lives, 71% of Generation Z see their lives getting more challenging in the future. And that's actually a 10% increase. And so what I feel like is focusing on the root problem. So like, let's just use an example, hunger. Hunger is a massive worldwide epidemic that we deal with all over the world, not just in foreign third world countries, but it's also something we deal with here. And so Generation Z's approach is not just volunteering to help homeless people at shelters and serving one day on Thanksgiving, but actually figuring out how we can solve the problem and create a solution from the root of what the issue is. And so that's what I'm really inspired by with this future generation. And I want to be able to use my resources, my knowledge, and everything that I've done in my career so far to help that generation grow and give them the resources and tools to just unleash and really start making a profound difference in the world. And whether it's just me or millions of other millennials who see the same vision that I do, I feel like it's a really important part as the different, Generation X, Millennials, Generation Z. We all have to come together and support each other, and really create a cohesive mission and vision together that's gonna help the world, not for the benefits of these corporations and these big companies, but for the benefits of our individual lives. So one of the things that I'm going to start doing with my company, and I've started this about a year and a half ago, is building in training systems. So I have an online training academy that I started years ago, about a year and a half ago, called Instagraphics Academy. So someone that's at-risk youth like me that has had a hard time coming up in the world and wasn't really handed any opportunities or a silver spoon, as you would say, they're going to struggle with trying to find their footing and what they're really good at. So there's a lot of people that have the same personality type that are like me. And one of the things that I'm really inspired by is creativity. And so with that creativity, that's something that's really, really hard to replicate. And so what I want to do is nurture that creativity from a business standpoint so that they can actually make money with their creative gifts. Because I know there's some just incredibly talented, very young people. I see people on YouTube and other online places that are making videos and doing websites and doing graphics, stuff that would just blow your mind, that is far beyond my skill set and expertise. And they're kids. They're just really young kids, anywhere from 14, and I've even seen younger than that, to be honest with you, but just really young kids that are doing incredibly creative work. So I want to offer a support system from training, mentoring, and then what's really important to me, what's at the core of all this, is the call that the Lord has on my life to help at-risk youth and heal broken families. And part of doing that at-risk youth part of this whole thing is this discipling. So discipling youth and really leading them in a way that is going to be a long-term benefit for the world, and helping them kind of spread more love into the world and encourage other people who are at risk as well. So equipping future leaders is really a big part of discipling. And so that's what I've been going and doing classes on a couple times a month on Wednesdays, and I've been reading discipling books, and I've talked about this a lot on the show, but that's something that I'm learning, and I feel like the Lord has been putting on my heart and been building my strength in, and just pushing me to grow, because He wants me to mentor, disciple, lead, and train future leaders in the business world. So one of the things I found to be really interesting, and you hear it all the time with people on Facebook and other social media sites, especially when it comes to politics, is that all these liberals, and everybody gets really upset about liberals, but I would definitely say, from all the research and everything that I know personally, that the Generation Z is definitely the most socially liberal. But what I found to be surprising from my research is that they're actually very financially conservative. So, which is going to be really important. Because I think the reason behind that is because of the level of risk and uncertainty that they've had throughout their life. Like when they were born right in the 9/11, right in that age, right after 9/11. They grew up with a device. They've always known technology, and they grew up during the recession in the midst of just so much uncertainty. And that level of uncertainty that they watched as such young kids has created a foundation of expectations for them. So that's what I really see them doing, is being very financially conservative, and even more than our generation, because we saw it when it was pretty good in the 80s and 90s when the economy was booming. It wasn't like that for them. So I think that they have a different perception and perspective on the world, and I think it's just going to be a really profound thing. So Generation Z, a lot of people, I wondered to myself, why is it called Generation Z? Is this the end of time? Is this our last generation? And there were some jokes and some things online that I was reading that I thought was pretty funny, but I really feel like this is the generation that is going to challenge the status quo, like I said, as far as like other problems that we have, like smoking. Like they say that Generation Z could be the first generation to actually solve cigarette smoking. Like people, they could eliminate cigarette smoking in their generation. Or another one on the political side again is the two-party system. That's something, as a libertarian, I believe I have a libertarian principle in human freedom, and that if you're not infringing on someone's safety and life, then there shouldn't really be a law for it. And so there's a lot of gray areas with that, but that's just an overall sense of the libertarianism. And so I think a lot of these libertarians or Generation Zers are really going to be challenging the two-party system, and I really feel like probably in my lifetime there's going to be a third party that's going to come into play, which I feel is going to even the playing field a lot. And I think we really need that in our political system, in our government, because a lot of Gen Zers are not comfortable with our government, the way it's run, and the direction that they're heading in. And that's that statistic I told you about. 71% say that their lives are getting more challenging. So they're the future. I mean, we have to really nurture these people, and I really like a lot of the things that I've seen so far with this generation. They're very heartfelt, very compassionate towards human beings, and they're a lot more open. So I think we're gonna see a lot of dramatic change in the world. So that's pretty much, I mean, the intro for what I have for you guys today on Gen Z. But I know we're going to talk a lot more about it today with Jeff Hoffman. So we're actually going to have to go to break here. But when we get back, we will chat with Jeff. Thank you, guys.
Hi, I'm Adrian Boisel with Adrian Graphics. Believe it or not, the internet is almost as complicated as the human body. The good thing is, I know the web like your doctor does you. And just like your doctor, I genuinely care about you and your business. For it to succeed in 2018, you must know how to use the internet. I've been working on the internet since its and move. The second stage is where you need to build in the systems and processes that will allow you to let go of control and focus on the innovation and growth of the business. Here are 3 tips to help you better understand scaling your business with an exit strategy. Number 1, you do less and you get your business to do more. Delegating responsibilities to your employees will empower them and free you up to focus on fine-tuning the processes and growing the business overall. Number 2, trainable systems and controls. Systems are the backbone of any business. These repeatable procedures will produce consistent and excellent results. They should increase efficiency and reduce cost and mistakes, making the business more scalable. And number 3, get it out of your head. Compiling all of your business knowledge into your systems will make success predictable. That's all I got for you today. I'm Adrian Boisel. This has been your Business Minute. And as always, keep looking up.
Handling payroll, workers' comp, and HR yourself is a big risk. If done incorrectly, it can cost you thousands of dollars and agonizing audits. You need a reliable company that looks out for you in all of these areas, and there's no better company than Premier Personnel. Family-owned and operated, Jennifer and Scott will provide the highest quality service at a cost you can afford. Call Premier Personnel at 888-915-0806 or visit them online at ppfsp.
Hey, are you building real wealth with Bitcoin? The more you know about the technology, the greater chance you have at making real money from Bitcoin. The local experts at Bitcoin City teach you the do's and don'ts of cryptocurrency and give you a deep understanding on how the technology works. In just 2 sessions, you will get the knowledge you need. And as Ben Franklin said, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Enroll in the first ever crypto education class at btcoincity.com. That's btcoincity.com. Funny 1055.
Oh yeah. Hey everybody, welcome back. You're listening to the Project Grow radio show. If you're just tuning in, we have our special guest on the line here. We're going to be chatting today with Jeff Hoffman, one of my inspirations and hope to be mentor, and I'm just really excited to have him here. So Jeff, are you with us? Heck yeah, right on. I'm really grateful that you made the time for us. Right? Oh wow, so good timing. So you're in the middle of a storm. We got a rainy day out here in sunny California, so no, not at all. So oh man, this is going to be an exciting show. We got a brand new time. I don't know if you heard that, but we're at 11 a.m. now. So it's going to be an interesting switch, and I think it's going to be really good for the show. We have a new guest or a new person that's coming onto the station that is going to bring a lot more people. Mark Levin. I don't know if you actually know him, but yeah, so he's going to be coming on. So yeah, I'm just really excited to get to our interview and talk a little bit about. I had a few questions for you, but I just kind of wanted to open it up and get your feedback on maybe anything I talked about in the first segment with the Gen Zers. Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. I love that. That's a beautiful thing. And I noticed that you did do some work when I was looking into stuff. You did some work with some presentations and speaking at like high schools. Is that what I saw? Mm, exactly. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, there's millions of ideas, millions of great ideas out there, but it's all about the execution and implementation. So I really agree with that, and that's what you're going to really help them get some perspective on and clarity, which is huge. Nice. I love that. Heck yeah. Just start. Yep, fear debilitates a lot of people from going after their dreams. It's crazy. So that's not of the right place. So we want to make sure that we're focusing on love and passion and all those things that are going to bring them joy in their life. And there's so much freedom that comes from entrepreneurship. I know the hours are crazy, but I've lived such an amazing life over the last 12 years of working for myself. I couldn't imagine it being any other way. Hmm. Yeah, exactly, exactly. So I had a couple questions that I wanted to ask you that I spent some time over the last few weeks actually reading your book. Once I knew you were coming on the show, I was like, oh, that's right, he's got a book. And I went and checked out your book. I'm like three-quarters of the way through it now, and so much of it aligns with stuff that I've already known, and it brought so much clarity to stuff that I have been doing, and it really helped me realize at what stage in that second stage, that second level of where I was at in that stage in terms of revenue and the processes I was putting in place and how I was evolving my company from that half a million, $250,000 type of company to trying to reach that seven-figure plus business, doing branding and websites and graphics, which is a really, really competitive space. Yes, yes, exactly. And I'm honestly, I'm one of those people. I was, even 6 months ago, I had areas where I was struggling in and trying to figure out, man, what am I missing here? And realizing that I was just too integral into the process and into the business, and I needed to remove myself and let empower other people that were working with me to take over and take control of those other things. So, and that's been probably my biggest change in my company over the last 6 months. Yeah, exactly. Wow. That is such a good point. You are the bottleneck. Yeah, you're like, man, I don't understand where it's slowing down. And for me, I have a natural gift of sales, and I kept having to go back into the business and in the processes that weren't where they needed to be, and keep putting out fires, and it kept pulling me away from sales. So I was having that up and down, roller coaster of sales momentum, and it was driving me nuts. I'm like, what do I have to do to get this to stop doing this? And so that's what I've been focusing all my energy and attention on within my own business, is making sure that those fires don't continue to happen, that I have the right people that I can trust to handle those things, so I can just focus 100% of my energy on sales. Because if I do that with my God-given gift, I can generate $50,000, $100,000 a month, or maybe even more in sales from apps and all those things. And that's huge growth for the business, compared to sitting down and doing a graphic design piece for someone for $50 to $100 an hour or more. It's like if I'm out there selling, I'm generating like $1,000+ an hour for the business. Yeah. Seriously. Yeah. Get the engineer. Yeah. Absolutely. No, that's really, really good advice. There's some gold nuggets and that knowledge and wisdom right there. So my first question. So after reading your book, I was just or going through the book, I was just really motivated and inspired by that. And so I wanted to ask you, what kind of book? How have you been motivated and inspired? What's impacted your business since you launched yours in 2014? Exactly. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the scaling thing is one of the most challenging parts of a business. I personally think all the other stuff that, sales you can outsource and find people to do that, and there's a lot of things, but scaling the business is, if you're the cog in the wheel right now, it needs you. You have to be integral in that scaling process. So that I really love that, and it's something that it's kind of opened my eyes even more. So your book that you put out, did that affect your career in some positive ways? I know there's probably some people that are listening that are in the process of writing the book, like myself, and maybe some of my other listeners. How did that book, scale? Hmm. Nice. Yeah. Wow. I'm one of those people. Yep. That's huge. Well, we're gonna go to our first break, but when we get back, we'll get to our other questions. Thanks, Jeff.
Hey, are you building real wealth with Bitcoin? The more you know about the technology, the greater chance you have at making real money from Bitcoin. The local
If you guys
experts at
can't hear
Bitcoin
Jeff's
City
side,
teach
I
you
would
the
really
do's and
encourage you
don'ts of
guys to go download
cryptocurrency
the
and
app.
give
We're
you a
listening
deep
to it on the
understanding
radio
of how the
station.
technology works. In just 2 sessions, you will get the knowledge you need. And as Ben Franklin said, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Enroll in the first ever crypto education class at btcoincity.com. That's btcoincity.com.
Handling payroll, workers'
Who's
comp,
loving
and
me?
HR yourself
Aw,
is a big
Andy,
risk.
what up, buddy?
If done incorrectly, it can cost you thousands of dollars and thousands of audits. You
Thanks,
need a
bro.
reliable company that looks out for you in
I hope
all
you're
of these
listening in.
areas, and there is no better company than Premier Personnel. Family-owned and operated, Jennifer and Scott will provide the highest quality service at a cost you can afford. Call Premier Personnel at 888-915-0000 0806 or visit them online at ppfsp.com.
Money 1055.
Oh, yeah. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. You're listening to the Project Grow radio show. I'm the host, Adrian Boycell, and we are currently talking with Jeff Hoffman. He was with Priceline, one of the biggest travel companies in the world, and UBID, and now he's making some significant change to future generations, to the millennial generation and Gen Z. And so we were just talking a little bit about his book, Scale, and some of the things that he's doing in his business and his career right now that are just really impacting the world. So I want to get back to that conversation because we never have enough time on the show, and I know him and I could probably talk for days. So let's get right back to it. Jeff? Awesome. So I think the last nuggets of knowledge you dropped there were huge for people, and I hope everybody that's listening right now goes back if they're just tuning into the show and gets to hear that, because that was really huge stuff. So my second question that I have for you, and this one was a little bit more challenging. I was wondering, I'm like, I don't know how he's going to like this one, but can AI mimic creativity? Mm-hmm. Wow. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. Oh. Yeah. No. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Oh, yeah, I didn't watch it, but I heard about it. Yep. Mm-hmm. Wow. Mm-hmm. That's, yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we need them both. I think they go, hand in hand for sure. And it just reminded me while you're talking, there was something I saw about a year ago, probably, that AI was taking artwork and basically like old artwork that was from World War II and other things, and like they were basically able to take like the Mona Lisa or like old art, and AI was able to find the way they used the paintbrush and literally mimic the exact art to where that you couldn't even tell the difference between the actual Mona Lisa and this one because of AI and how advanced. I was just like, whoa, that kind of blew my mind. So that's kind of where that question came from. Is yeah. Wow. Oh, what? That that That's true. Yeah, there's some stuff revolving that, and I know what's his name, Elon Musk from Tesla has talked about that and the dangers of it, and so there's a lot of negativity surrounded around AI. But I'm not one of those people that likes to focus or give that any power in my life or in any of the things that I do. So I try to focus on the positive sides of how AI can be used to really help the world. And like you said, with medicine, that's one of my niche verticals for my clients is health and wellness, and hormone therapy and A4M. I don't know if you know what A4M is medicine. There's a lot of innovative stuff that's going on. That's kind of a world perspective on medicine rather than just the Western medicine, which I think a lot of my generation and these Gen Zers are going to be really big about, is looking outside of the U.S. and pharmaceuticals and all these things. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in the news too with that, but that's kind of where I see things going. So I'm really pushing my business into that space of the holistic, natural, world healthcare, basically. Awesome, awesome. So my third one is relating to technology and how do we protect ourselves from hackers? There's so many hacking attacks going on. We hear about it in the news and data breaches and credit reports and actually like all these different places that are getting hacked. How can businesses protect themselves from these types of hacks? That was it right there. Yeah, that's smart. And to back that up, I actually have a friend of mine, Joe, that I'm working with that's actually going to be doing some backing up of all of my data and files. I mean, as a graphic designer, web designer, doing internet marketing and digital advertising and stuff like that, I have so many files and data. And if I were to lose that and my client sites were to get hacked or something bad was to happen, that would make a significant impact on my business and my reputation that I might not be able to come back from. So right now I have a friend of mine who's really, really smart, who's backing up all of our stuff to a system on a server internally in our office aside from Dropbox. So we have a lot of our stuff on Dropbox, and we've been backing everything up onto external solid state drives just to make sure that if anything ever does happen, we have those backed up and we have our own internal server in our office as just a second thing. And so that's actually allowed me to cut down some of my Dropbox space and save me some money there too, which was huge for us because I was spending $100, $200 a month with Dropbox because of all the space that I use up. Yeah, I mean it's going to cost me less than $1,000, and that data is worth tens of thousands, if not more. Exactly, exactly. So All right, so my last question, and this one was a fun one. I was trying to think of the young, fun thing that you had talked about at the conference of just your imagination and wonder. So if you were a kid again, 14, 13, whatever the age would be in that Gen Z, or if you were a Gen Zer, what tech would you be learning? What would you be going to school for, focusing your energy on for the different career fields that are out there? What do you think are some good ones? Right, early on, huh? Yeah, yeah, getting better. Yeah, yeah, yep, yes. Putting them to death. Yeah, that's true. No, that's huge. And I think the college thing is interesting for me because I never went. You went to a really well-known, amazing school, and it's really hard to get into. And I saw some statistics about the Gen Zers and them going into college. There's been a 30% growth rate for people going to college over the last, I think, since 2010. So the last 8 years, there's been a 30% increase in demand for that. And the schools, there's kind of a gap between the community college and the lower level colleges to the big, harder to get to ones that are harder to get admitted into. And so there's this gap that's happening between the two. And I find that really, really interesting for this future generation going in of the Yales and the really, really expensive schools. As the demand increases, we need to elevate the education. And so that's kind of what I'm moving towards. I feel like the Lord is telling me that I'm going to be a teacher and basically equipping these people with my own type of academy, infographics and web design and all these other things that we're doing. Absolutely. Exactly. Right on. Well, we're going to go to one more break, and when we get back, we'll wrap up our combo. Sweet. How do you like that?
When you come back, when you go into your breaks, all right, think of an out cue going in. You can come up with different versions.
Yeah.
But you can go, I'm Adrian, we'll come up on a break and we'll be back. I'm Adrian Boycell, and this is Project Grow.
Nice. Okay.
All right?
Sweet.
Something along those lines.
See? Awesome.
Where you come up with a standard out cue going into your breaks.
Perfect.
And
yeah, I've been needing
identify
that.
yourself and the name of the show and
Perfect.
come up with different ways of saying that. But that's how you want to go into your breaks.
I love that. Thank
All
you.
right?
Read it. Right on. Said, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Enroll in the first ever crypto education class at btcoincity.com. That's btcoincity.com.
Handling payroll, workers' comp, and HR yourself is a big risk. If done incorrectly, it can cost you thousands of dollars and agonizing audits. You need a reliable company that looks out for you in all of these areas, and there is no better company than Premier Personnel. Family owned and operated, Jennifer and Scott will provide the highest quality service at a cost you can afford. Call Premier Personnel at 888-915-0806 or visit them online at ppfsp.com.
Do you need push-button heat with no batteries, no microwave, and no cords? Introducing Hot Shots, a must-have heat source for any cold weather activity, aches and pains, and more. Hot Shots reusable heat packs come in many sizes and provide hours of soothing heat. Yes, reusable, with a lifetime warranty. Don't be left out in the cold. Call 916-214-6943 or visit reusableheat.com. Hot Shots, instant portable reusable heat, anytime, anywhere. That's reusableheat.com.
Are you sick and tired of dealing with flaky graphic designers and web designers who always overpromise and underdeliver? We have a solution, and it's called Instagraphics. It's an on-demand graphic design and web design service allowing you to get your website or your graphic design project done the same day. All you got to do is download it for free on the Google Play Store. There's live support and a ton of other resources to help you grow your business. Check it out, instagraphics.com, or download the Instagraphics app for free on the Google Play Store.
Funny 105.5.
Oh yeah. Hey everybody, we're back and you're listening to the Project Grow radio show. I'm the host Adrian Boycell and we are here with Jeff Hoffman. We've been chatting about AI and the future of our Gen Zers and what that looks like for them and how the other generations, the Gen Xers and Millennials, can support these people. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we're going to jump right back into our interview. So, hey Jeff. It's been fun, right? We really could. I feel like we could do 5 more segments, but unfortunately we got only like 10, 15 minutes left. So I just wanted to open it up a little bit at the end here to you before I get into my last piece, and just if there's anything else you want to share or bring into the conversation that maybe you feel applies to what we've been talking about. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now that's really, really good advice, and it's so funny how closely our values align, and not just hearing your speech at the Malinchak event and really being moved by that, but who you are as a person is so similar to me. So I think that I was drawn to you for bigger reasons, just the business and the technology side of things. There's a bigger thing at play here, because my core values of who I am is not motivated by money, or even business. It's really helping the world and making an impact on the world. And you know, I've heard people say, like, the bigger impact you make on the world, the bigger you get paid out, and that's never really been my thing. I want to be able to leave this world and get to the pearly gates and the Lord say, you know, well done, good and faithful servant, as Matthew 25:23. You know, just like Billy Graham, who passed away a few weeks ago, like, that guy made such a profound change on the world, and that's what I want to leave on this world, is knowing that my kids and my kids' kids and future generations are a little bit better because I was here and I was able to help and support and equip them for a better future. There we go. Yep. Yep. Exactly. Well, right on, man. Thank you so much, Jeff. I really appreciate you coming on the show today. I'm gonna jump over here, but I'm really grateful for you, and I hope we can keep in touch, and I can help you with your business. And I know you do branding and stuff like I do. So if there's any overflow or anything I can ever help you with, I'm always here. So that's funny. Right on. Right on. Thanks, Jeff. Well, speaking of climbing, it's funny he just mentioned that. I'm sitting here on my Evernote looking at a picture that I took from last weekend's conference that I went to. It was Agape Freedom Fighters Conference. And so we did a bunch of different classes and clinics throughout the day. It was from 8 a.m. until 3:30 and was led by an amazing woman named Joanne Moody. And she really inspired me a few weeks back when I was at the youth ministry called YWAM, Youth with a Mission, and I had talked about a few weeks back. And she did an exercise in the room where we had about 20 people on one side of the room and 20 people on the other, and everybody lined up on one side, and then the other 20 people passed by you, and as they passed by you, they spoke out words, prophetic words to you. And so they gave me a list of words like purity, deep, leader, car, give, free, treasure, freedom, fun, fire. And so these were words that they stood in front of me and just closed their eyes or looked at me or held my hands, and words that they felt were a prophetic word for me. And then it was youth and difference and achieve. And it was really cool that youth came up a couple times and then leader came up twice. But one of the ones that really profoundly affected me was teacher. And the gal walks in front of me and she literally, I'm not joking, she literally almost fell over and she goes, whoa, you have an anointing on you. This never happens to me. This is really rare. You have an anointing. Teacher, 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 teacher. Like looking at me kind of out of the corner of her eye, just really blown away. And I was just like overwhelmed, like, oh my gosh, what do I do right now? And I was like, thank you so much. And so she walks by and the next person comes and he's like, leader, says the same thing again. I'm like, dang. And then friend, fun, valor, grow. So all these really cool prophetic words. And so I did the same thing for the people on the other side as I passed by them. And this lady ended up walking by me at the end of the conference after we left the sanctuary, and my friend encountered the Lord and had some amazing things happen to him. We left the sanctuary and she walks by me and stops and looks at me and says, you know what? I needed to tell you something. You are going to be famous, and you are going to change the world and bring so much glory to God, and everybody's going to know your name. And this isn't about ego. This is truly about impacting the world. And everybody knowing my name, like that kind of scares me from a human side, only because that's a big responsibility. You know, there's a lot of people who are really famous who are putting things out there into the world, and that's a lot of weight to carry. And I was always worried at one point in my life, until just really, really recently, about attaining that level of success. And so I think that's held me back in my career. So I'm not doing that anymore. I'm letting go. And so the other exercise that we did was this guy that was rock climbing, and they put out a bunch of photos on the ground, and they said, find a photo on the ground that grabs you, that represents your relationship with God. And so I found this photo that it grabbed me after walking around. I was one of the last people to sit down, and it was this guy climbing a wall who looked like my best friend when I was a kid's dad, Matt. He was climbing up a wall and holding on. He has no ropes, no anything attached to him. He's literally just scaling this huge wall, rock wall, with nothing. And so we had to get a partner, and they were supposed to speak words of what they saw in the picture. And so this lady, Monica, which was funny, that morning I played a song 3 times. And so she walks up to me and she goes, I'm hearing a song right now. This is how I fight my battles. And I was like, no way you're saying that to me right now. I had that song on repeat this morning on the way to the conference, like from 6:30 in the morning till 8. I played that song 3 times. I can't believe you're saying that. She's like, yeah, I just see you relentlessly pursuing God, and he loves how much you're pursuing him. And she just gave me these prophetic words that were just really profound. And then she saw me holding on to him, so he had nothing, and I was just taking the faith. My buddy Brandon said, I see a way for the impossible with faith and trust. You're constantly holding on to God. You're at a place where you're growing and climbing, and even though you stumble and fall, you're going to continue to keep moving and keep climbing and keep reaching that place, and he's so proud of you for that. And then this lady named Chris, her word for me was, she sees me taking risks and pursuing God. So a lot of these people that didn't talk to each other, didn't hear what each other had to say, were all saying a very similar thing based on the photo, but all different, and had a unique perspective on the situation. And that's really what I saw with the rock walls. It's dangerous. I could die. There's a lot of things that could happen with climbing, rock climbing without anything on you, no straps or harnesses or safety gear. But it's worth the risk for me. And so some of these things that I'm doing right now are challenging me in new ways. And just like this guy is being challenged to climb this wall. And I know that if I just continue to have just blind faith in what his plan is for me, and let him lead me and stay on track to what's most important and what he's called me to do, everything is going to be really, really awesome. And so that's really what it all comes down to at the end of the day is what is your calling, what is your purpose. So if you don't know the Lord and you don't know your purpose, those could be tied in right with each other, and maybe that's why. And so I would really encourage you to open your heart up, just say yes. You know, I use an analogy of wandering through the desert looking for water. The Lord is the water. He's the one that's going to help you increase your vision and your clarity of your life and what your purpose is. And mine is bringing at-risk youth, helping at-risk youth, and saving broken families, helping broken families. So I really loved this episode. This was a lot of fun for me. This is probably my funnest episode so far, and I'm just really grateful for you guys. So make sure you check out the website, Project Grow Radio. Follow us on Facebook, and I just thank you guys for tuning in today. So I'm Adrian Boycell. This is the Project Grow Radio Show, and as always, keep looking up.